My next guest takes on Caio Alencar coming up here at PFL 18 Event 1 on June 7th. It is Jake Heun joining me here on the program for the very first time. Jake, how are you?
Doing great, brother. Just got back to the States, living in Atlanta, getting ready to kick some ass in this upcoming season.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And that's kind of where I wanted to start this interview. I know that you competed for Road FC last year, and I know previously you fought for World Series of Fighting, but this is going to be your first fight underneath the PFL banner. Was there a contract in place with World Series of Fighting that extended to PFL, or was this something separate?
I honestly couldn't tell you really the whole inner workings of it. My manager, Brian Butler, kind of handled a lot of that. I believe they purchased my contract from World Series. I'm really not sure, but there was a whole like 18-month period there where I wasn't sure if I was allowed to fight or if I was under contract with World Series or PFL. So I'm living over in Asia, like going to China and taking K1 fights and taking Muay Thai fights and doing stuff like that. So it was a real headache, and financially it was a real pain. So I'm really glad to be back and be able to know exactly when I'm fighting, who I'm fighting, and how much money I'm making. So it's kind of nice.
Yeah, no, I'd say so too. You have some assurance as to when you're going to be fighting and everything else. So you mentioned that you had some Muay Thai and kickboxing fights. How many times did you fight last year? Because I'm just seeing the one fight for Road FC on Tapology, but obviously you mentioned there you had some other fights.
Secret bare knuckle underground Muay Thai fights.
Exactly. Yeah.
No, I fought. So last year I fought one time in Bangkok, and then I fought twice in China. The two China fights were both K1 rules, and the Bangkok fight was actually Muay Thai with no gloves.
Cool. And how was that experience, getting to go fight overseas, live overseas, and all that?
It's great, man. I've been living in Thailand for on and off for about 3 years, and then for the last 2 years, I've been living there straight. And I only came back to fight in the World Series that was at Madison Square Garden last time.
Right.
But outside of that, I've just been kind of living in Asia and then traveling around through Asia, traveling all over. Went to Bali, Laos, Myanmar, Korea. Then I went all through Europe and everything. Just been kind of enjoying this life. I mean, I was stopped and I thought about it. And as a fighter, we're kind of lucky that we don't have a real, we don't have a 9 to 5 that I have to check in and have some boss riding my ass all day. So I've been traveling around and enjoying it while I can,
So you're like a nomad, like you don't have anywhere that you live, like you're living in Atlanta now, but you could be living in wherever next year. It doesn't matter, right?
100%. 100%.
Good, man. I love hearing that. I love traveling as well. So it's good to, I think a lot of people forget that there's a whole world out there that you get to experience. So it's, take advantage of it, like you said, right? So.
Yeah, I mean, it's massive out there. And there's so much, like, just in the MMA or martial arts side of things, there's so much stuff out there that you can take in, that you just don't see over there. There's so much beyond what's here in the States or what's there in the UK. It's awesome, man. I love it.
So why PFL? What drew you back to the States? Was it the tournament? What sort of brought you back to the United States to compete?
$1 million.
Yeah, exactly.
That's $1 million is a lot of baht.
Yeah.
So figure, and the nice thing is I liked how their contracts were structured with the regular season, where I know I'm fighting June 7th and I'm fighting again July 19th, barring an injury. Right. And then from there, I know again when I'm up to fight in the playoff system, which is in MMA is so foreign and weird to know when you're fighting. I mean, you talk to fighters all the time. The biggest thing is guys staying active or knowing when they're playing or when their next paycheck's coming. And the way I think that they've lined all this out, it's taking a big weight off my shoulders, really.
Oh, big time. I think for the fans too, it's exciting to have a tournament. I think it's exciting. Fans like tournaments, especially if they end up staying intact,
100%, and I think that playoff system is going to be really exciting for people because I hope Vegas jumps on board. So I'm trying to put some money on myself.
Yeah.
Everybody's, Jake's a little light heavyweight. He's not going to light heavyweight fighting these big boys. I'm going to bet on myself as a dark horse. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, you should, man. No, absolutely. Take advantage of that. Let's talk about
the New York Athletic Commission.
Right. Yes, for sure. Let's talk about your opponent here, Caio Alencar. He's got the 11-2 record. How do you feel like you match up against him here?
I really feel like it's a great matchup for me. He trains down at my former camp at American Top Team in Coconut Creek. he has an interesting, like, try to stand and leap in boxing style that I've actually gone against a lot training down there. I know his boxing coach. I know how those guys train. He's a dangerous opponent. Like I said, I'm a little heavyweight. I'm going to be the smallest guy in this tournament.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a big old son of a bitch. The guy is, I mean, he's like 6'6", 250, and put Jared Rosehold on his ass clean. So you know he's got some power. But honestly, I think stylistically and matchup-wise, I got a really good draw for the first round.
And where are you training right now? You said you live in Atlanta. Which camp are you at, and who are some of your main training partners?
I'm training at American Top Team of Atlanta, funny enough.
Oh, great.
I'm training, but I'm bouncing around. I'm training specifically with Rowan Canario, Cal, as he's known. And my main training partner has been Douglas Lima and just some other rotating through here. And Lima and I are like a match made in heaven for training together. So it's just elevating my game, and it's been great.
Do you have to train differently with the fact this is a tournament? Like, you know, you could be, like you said, you could be, if you win here, you'll be fighting in a couple months. Like, do you have to kind of maybe tone it down a little bit in training just to make sure there's no injuries?
Well, you know, I feel like if I was Will Brooks or Jason Hire, one of these guys that has to cut a bunch of weight, you might have to look at things differently and be tapering.
Right. Yeah. You're small heavyweight, like you said. Yeah.
Bro, I'm eating steaks and drinking beer every night. Like, life is good. But no, like, I mean, in all seriousness, the fact that I know I have a fight. What's it? June 7th to July 19th. That's 5 weeks. I'm gonna have to give myself at least a week out of the gym after that fight. You never come out of a fight like ready to go right again. I mean, your hands are swollen. You can go like immediately that night, but that next day when all that inflammation and everything comes up, you got to give yourself a little bit of time. So I'm gonna take that time, and then it's just kind of it's really a matter of staying in shape. And Chikao and I actually met up in Thailand, and we talked about it. And the whole biggest deal with me coming out here was there's not a lot of heavyweights. I'm really like I'm the only heavyweight. But with this tournament format and how often I'm going to be fighting, there's no need for me to be getting hard sparring. I know how to fight. So I'm doing a lot of drilling, a lot of just contact drills, and a lot of movement and things like that, working a lot on my ground. That's why I came out here to work with Chikao. I felt like he helped me get ready for my Vinny Magalesh fight, and fight which I still maintain that I believe that I won. and he really helped me get ready for that. And with the guys in this tournament, I think that he's a great trainer for me for what we're going to be doing.
And I guess the plan is to stay at heavyweight, because I know at one point in your career, if I'm not mistaken, you were trying to get down to middleweight. What happened with that? Like, I guess you're just like, you know what? Let's go to heavyweight.
Dude, that's stupid.
Yeah, I know.
I think I got into the game like right at the tail end of when everybody's idea was like, okay, you want to be as big as you can be, and then cut all that weight. Yeah. That's when I started. You know, I came up under Chris Leben and like those guys out in Hawaii. Those dudes used to cut like 30 pounds a day of the fight. It's ridiculous. Yeah. And I look at I had that fight in Korea. There was an open weight fight, and how good I felt. I got too big because they made me. It was like a thing like they wanted me to weigh 110 kgs. So I was just pounding water and eating food, feeling way too bloated. But to fight it like your natural walking weight is great. I mean, these guys, like, we're going to be on this card on the 7th at the Garden with it. It's going to be heavyweights and featherweights. And some, like, you look at Lance Palmer and Dre and some of these guys, they're big dudes. Or, you know, Bektalat, Magomedov, these dudes they're big guys, and they're cutting down to this 45. They're all going to be miserable, and I'm going to be chilling, hanging out, eating breakfast before I get on the scale. You know, it is a beautiful thing.
I agree. No, that's awesome. How do you see this fight playing out on June 7th?
You know, I think he's going to test me on the feet because he fancies himself a boxer now, which is great. And I have yet to really meet a guy who likes to stay there with me. So I foresee him trying to drag me down to the ground. And I think I see myself walking away with the finish 100%. I think it's just going to be a matter of where I finish it.
Who do you think is the toughest heavyweight in the tournament?
Sean Jordan.
Okay, 100%. Nice. You didn't even hesitate. That's interesting. What if you mentioned, you know, we're kind of joking about it there, but if you did win the $1 million, do you have an idea of what you would spend the money on? What would you do with it?
Shit, I'm going back to Thailand. I'm gonna be the big boss. No, I'm just gonna. I'm gonna keep on doing what I'm doing, man. Just do it at a little bit higher level. I've really enjoyed bouncing around, traveling, going to Bali, went to Oktoberfest last year. You know, it's more of the world I want to see. There's more stuff I want to do, and it takes money, man. And you know, I'd really like to not have to worry about like I'd like to. I think the $1 million. The best way I can say is it's going to allow me to take fights that I want to take,
Right.
not fights, not like, oh, I need this check. We need this check. I'm going to go take this fight in China. It's going to probably could if you don't finish. You're not going to get a win there. You know what I mean? So I think it's just going to change a lot of opportunities that way to allow me to do more things that I want to do and take the fights that I want to take. You know, whereas when I'm making decent money now with PFL, but I mean, in that 18-month off period, I was negating, just cutting my value down because it's like, shit, I need to check, man. I'm living in Thailand and I'm broke. I got to eat.
Yeah.
You don't want to be broke in a third world country, bro. It's not fun.
I wouldn't think so. It sounds pretty awful, actually. But before I let you go here, we know traveling is one of your big hobbies. What about downtime? Are you watching any TV? You're playing any video games, anything like that?
Man, I don't got the attention span for the video games. I've been known to really get down on some Netflix though. I just watched what was I watching the other day? Glow, the gorgeous lady.
The wrestling one. Yeah, that's great. Great show.
Actually, not bad. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to Game of Thrones coming back out.
Of course,
whenever that is. But yeah, man, it's really I hang out. Like my girl and I, we go out and have some beers and chill. You know, I mean, we actually, especially because I was living in Thailand, there wasn't a ton of TV to watch that was in English.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which can make it difficult. Yeah,
make it difficult. You know, I picked up a little bit of time, but not enough to watch TV. So no, man, I like to go to the beach. I love a good beer. I love a good steak. You know.
And we love a good fight, and it's coming up here June 7th. It's a PFL 2018 Event 1. Jake, this was great getting a chance to talk to you, man. Just remind people where they can find you on social media, and if you got any sponsors or shout-outs, the floor is yours, man.
Guys, June 7th, Madison Square Garden. It's going to be ridiculous. The heavyweights are going to bring the heat. So you can find me on Instagram at Honeybear MMA. Give me a follow. My page is good stuff. On Twitter at Jake Heun, and my Facebook page, which is where you can watch. On Facebook Watch, you'll be able to watch the fights, is at Jake the Honey Bear Heun. And then, guys, I want to give a shout-out to Dragon Coin. It's a cryptocurrency that's sponsoring me. If you're into the crypto game, you guys got to jump on Dragon Coin. It's going to be massive. They're huge. And also to my other sponsor, MHP Nutrition, based here out of the U.S. Keep your muscles jacked. And everybody that's supported me throughout this whole thing, it's been a long ride. We're going to make some money this year, boys.
What's up, fight fans? If you like this video, be sure to subscribe to see even more interviews with your favorite UFC and Bellator fighters. We've also got coverage at events, including post-fight press conferences and media scrums. And if you like this video, check out the video to my right. It's worth your time.